Ever wonder what happens after a supervillain retires? For Gru, life after giving up his shrink ray and moon-stealing schemes was, well, surprisingly normal. He was a family man now, working for the Anti-Villain League alongside his super spy wife, Lucy. They were busy raising their three amazing daughters, Margot, Edith, and Agnes. It seemed like Gru had traded his freeze ray for school runs and his evil lair for a suburban home. But just when you think you know a guy, a blast from the past shows up and flips everything upside down. It all started when Gru and Lucy got fired. Yeah, you heard that right. They let a new baddie slip through their fingers, a guy named Balthazar Brat. Now, Brat wasn't your typical villain. He was a former child star from the 80s, obsessed with his old TV character, a boy genius supervillain. Think shoulder pads, bubblegum, guitars, and a serious grudge against Hollywood for canceling his show. His plan? To use a giant robot and superpowered chewing gum to lift Hollywood into outer space as payback. After failing to stop him, the AVL gave Gru and Lucy their walking papers. Ouch! Just as Gru was hitting a new low, wondering how he'd support his family, a butler shows up out of nowhere with a shocking message. Gru has a twin brother he never knew existed. His name is Drew, so the whole family packs up and flies to a faraway land called Fredonia to meet this long-lost relative. And let me tell you, Drew is everything Gru isn't. He has a magnificent head of long, flowing blonde hair. He's charming, cheerful, and ridiculously wealthy, living in a giant mansion filled with his father's old villainous gadgets. It turns out, their dad was a legendary supervillain, and while Gru followed in his footsteps for a while, Drew was always seen as a disappointment. Now, Drew has one big dream. He wants to team up with Gru for one last, epic heist. He wants to prove he has what it takes to be a villain, just like their dad. This puts Gru in a really tough spot. He's torn. Part of him, the old Gru, is tempted by the thrill of the villain life. The gadgets, the planning, the sheer excitement, it's all calling to him. But he promised Lucy and the girls he was done with all that. He's a good guy now, right? This struggle is real. He's trying to figure out who he is, a villain, a hero, a husband, a father, a brother. It's a full-blown identity crisis. Meanwhile, the minions are having their own little rebellion. They miss the good old days of being evil. When Gru refuses to go back to villainy, they quit in a huff. Their quest for a new evil boss leads them on a wild journey that includes accidentally crashing a singing competition and ending up in prison. Yes, prison. Their Big House musical number is something you just have to see to believe. They're tough, they're tattooed well, with banana tattoos, and they pretty much run the yard. But even in their tough new life, they can't help but miss their old boss. Their mini-boss, Gru, back in Fredonia. Lucy is trying her best to be the perfect mom. It's a new role for her, and she's a little awkward, but her heart is absolutely in the right place. She goes full mama bear mode to protect the girls, especially when Agnes goes on a quest to find a real-life unicorn in the nearby woods. Lucy's journey to becoming a mom is just as important as Gru's journey to figuring out his family history. She learns that being a mom isn't about being perfect. It's about being there, loving them, and yes, sometimes using your spy skills to save them from falling off a cliff. The main event, of course, is Balthazar Brat. He manages to steal the world's largest diamond, the key power source for his giant robot. Gru initially sees this as the perfect opportunity. He tells Lucy and the girls he's going on an AVL mission, but really, he and Drew plan to steal the diamond back for themselves. It's their one last heist, the brotherly bonding mission. They use their father's high-tech car and gadgets, and for a moment, it's a blast. The two brothers, so different, finally connect over a shared love for cool gadgets and a little bit of mayhem. They manage to get the diamond, but their partnership is rocky. Drew is clumsy and reckless, and Gru is. Well, still Gru. Their little celebration is cut short when Gru reveals he's not going to become a villain. He's taking the diamond back to the AVL to get his job back. Drew is heartbroken. He feels betrayed. Their brotherhood, which was just starting to form, seems to shatter. This is when Brat, disguised as Lucy, kidnaps the girls and takes back the diamond. Now it's personal, there's no more pretending. Gru isn't fighting for his job or for the thrill of a heist, he's fighting for his family. Drew, despite feeling hurt, realizes what's truly at stake. The two brothers put their differences aside and team up for real this time. They fly to Hollywood, where Brat has already unleashed his giant robot, which is busy carving up the city with laser beams and covering it in super stretchy, indestructible bubblegum. The final showdown is an 80s-fueled spectacle. Gru and Brat face off in an epic dance battle. Yes, a dance battle. It's as awesome and ridiculous as it sounds. While Gru keeps Brat busy with his surprisingly smooth moves, Drew manages to disable the robot from the inside, fighting off his own fears and insecurities. And where are the minions during all of this? They've escaped prison, of course, on a homemade flying machine. They arrive just in time to help clean up the bubblegum mess and celebrate the victory. In the end, Gru defeats Brat not with a freeze ray, but with a keytar. He saves the day, gets his job back, and most importantly, saves his family. The brothers reconcile. Gru understands that Drew just wanted his brother's acceptance, and Drew sees that Gru's true strength comes from his love for his family. So, what's the big takeaway? The movie beautifully shows that family isn't just about who you're related to. It's about the people you choose, the people you fight for. Gru proves that you can change, that your past doesn't have to define your future. He's no longer just a villain or a hero, he's a father, a husband, and a brother. And in the final scene, we see that the villainous streak might not be completely gone. Drew, along with the minions, steals Gru's airship, flying off to continue the family tradition of villainy. But instead of getting angry, Gru just smiles. He and Lucy decide to give them a 5-minute head start before they go after them. The adventure, it seems, is far from over. It's a perfect reminder that family is complicated, messy, and the greatest adventure of all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like and subscribe for more.